Welcome to What's New, your channel for everyday solutions.
Be sure to subscribe, share and like our videos. This is What's New.
Airbus is building flying taxis so that it can become the Uber of the skies. Danielle Muoio. Tech giants are starting to turn their attention to flying cars. Uber released a 98-page white paper last week outlining its plans to bring flying cars to commuters by 2026. Google co-founder Larry Page is also funding a flying car project through a startup named Zee.Aero, and its prototype was reportedly seen in action at Hollister Municipal Airport in October. But Airbus, which offers a legacy of building civil aircrafts and working with the Federal Aviation Administration, is also developing its own flying car as part of its Project Vahana, and its aviation experience could give it an edge. Project Vahana is being run under Airbus Silicon Valley arm, named A-Cubed. To get this out of the way early, all of these companies aren't really interested in developing flying cars, hence the quotation marks. That would indicate they were trying to take the same route as Terrafugia, which is building a hybrid car that can drive on the road and also fly. But A-Cubed, along with Uber and what we know of Zee.Aero, isn't focused on the car portion of a flying car. All three are working on VTOL aircrafts, which is short for vertical takeoff and landing. That means the aircrafts don't need a runway to ascend, similar to a helicopter. Zach Lovering, who oversees Project Vahana, said it plans to have the production version of its VTOL aircraft ready in 4 years. The Project Vahana aircraft will be an electric, single-passenger VTOL plane with 8 rotors. Lovering told Business Insider it will have a range on the order of a city size, the diameter of a city, but declined to provide a specific number. It will have a speed twice as fast as cars and will achieve an altitude of around 1,000 feet, according to Lovering. The aircraft will be fully self-piloted. The way I would think about it is somewhat like a train, which means before it takes off it has a known flight path it's going on. Lovering said. He said the aircraft will be equipped with LiDAR, radar, and cameras. The same technology used on many self-driving cars, so it can safely deviate from its flight path if an obstacle gets in its way. Lovering joined Project Vahana in February after spending 4 years working for Page's Zee.Aero. There's a much bigger focus here on actual productization and getting this thing out there, rather than focusing on developing really cool technology, Lovering said of his decision to leave Zee.Aero. But why pursue a VTOL aircraft? Lovering said he can see many uses for these types of transport systems, but that Project Vahana is primarily going after the commuter market. Lovering said he wants to create a ride-hailing experience that's something like Uber has. Here's how he sees it playing out. The vehicles will have home bases on the top of buildings, such as large parking structures. Users will put where they are and where they want to go into a Project Vahana app, which will then direct them to the nearest depot with the aircrafts. You either take an Uber there or walk there, depending on how far away it is, Lovering said. Once a user gets in the VTOL aircraft, pre-flight checks would commence. Lovering said relevant information about the flight will be displayed on the app, and there may even be a screen inside the aircraft that could hook up to your phone, just as a casting device. None of these details have been finalized, but speak to the ride-hailing interface Lovering hopes to create. Uber is also looking to use the VTOL aircraft for commuter purposes as part of its project dubbed Uber Elevate. Uber is planning to have its first vehicles ready by 2021, just 1 year after Project Vahana plans to finish its aircrafts. Uber has said its official rollout date will occur in 2026. Lovering added that Project Vahana's aircrafts could also be used to transport cargo from facilities to distribution centers. They could also be used to deploy emergency medical stations in disaster areas. Huge regulatory hurdles. But Project Vahana's vision for its VTOL aircrafts hinge on the FAA granting regulatory approval, and that's a big hurdle considering the FAA has yet to even approve commercial drone use. The regulatory aspects are definitely something difficult to overcome, Lovering said. Although in our conversations with the FAA, we met with them earlier this year, They were very receptive to us. Lovering said the FAA is moving toward a standard certification process that would expedite the process for approving new kinds of vehicles. He added that there are organizations working with the FAA to help set these standards, like ASTM International, a volunteer organization that helps develop international standards, the Radio Technical Commission for Aeronautics, a volunteer organization that develops technical guidance for the industry and is sponsored by the FAA, and GAMA, an aviation industry trade association. The FAA did not respond to Business Insider's request for comment. It seemed like there were some clear paths forward for the regulatory environment as long as you have a pretty well-defined mission, Lovering said of his conversation with the FAA earlier this year. But there are other hurdles beyond tackling the difficult regulatory environment. Lovering said A-Cubed needs to figure out how to build an air infrastructure so the aircrafts can fly safely. The group also needs to set up charging stations at landing sites since the aircraft will be electric. Lovering said it will be important to partner with other companies working on VTOL aircrafts to work out these challenges. He said he could see A-Cubed working with Uber down the road for that very reason. There are just huge regulatory hurdles, air traffic management hurdles, structural hurdles, he said. That certainly will require not just Airbus and one other company, but probably half a dozen to a dozen companies working together to solve this problem. Airbus just revealed a wild concept car that can be airlifted by a drone. Airbus is proposing a new solution for avoiding rush hour, fly over it. The aircraft manufacturer revealed its vision for a car that can be airlifted by a drone on Tuesday. Called the Pop.Up system. The car-drone combo is making its debut at the Geneva Motor Show, which opens to the public March 9th. Airbus designed the system with ITL Design, a design and engineering company. The key component of the Pop.Up system is a capsule that is 2.5 meters 8 feet long and 1.4 meters 4.6 feet high that can house passengers. That capsule can attach to a battery-powered chassis to become a two-seater electric car. Airbus says that without the capsule, the chassis can drive 100 kilometers 62 miles on a single charge, so you're not looking at a long-range vehicle concept here. The Pop.Up solar design means the capsule can easily unhook from its chassis and get airlifted by an accompanying drone that's autonomous and powered by 8 rotors. Airbus doesn't provide any insight as to what happens to the chassis once it's left behind. Passengers can summon the drone using a smartphone app that can also suggest the best transport solutions, factoring in traffic, ride-sharing demand, and cost. Airbus even said the capsule could be paired with other futuristic transport systems, like the Hyperloop. Airbus didn't say whether the Pop.Up will come out of concept mode, but it seems unlikely we'll see anything like it soon. However, Airbus is seriously pursuing using vertical takeoff and landing VTOL vehicles for urban commutes.
Welcome to What's New, your channel for everyday solutions.
Be sure to subscribe, share and like our videos. This is What's New.